So for those who don't know, this game is called Tharsis, and it's a dice game. Basically all you have to do is to try and beat the scenarios that come up ahead with the dice. So obviously higher numbers on the dice the better. The more dice you can roll, the better. The general kind of part of the game is to try and get to Mars from Earth, and on your way there your spaceship comes into some trouble. This will be shown all in the intro. And I'll explain the game as it goes along. It's a good story. I've completed it a couple of times, but only on the normal level, trying to get to hard. But first I want to try and get all of my unlock all of the characters, all the crew members that you can use. Start a new game. You can see that currently I have a choice of 7. You can only bring 4 along with you. You can see that I have completed the game twice, not with a specialist, so I want to bring Alison with me. We'll have Pakal drop out, and we're going to bring Joy with us this time. I'm going to keep it on normal difficulty. We don't need the tutorial, but we'll go from there.
We had prepared for any disaster, for every disaster. Not all of them at once. We can't turn back, but how can we go on?
How can we go on? Well, you just keep on going. So, update. A cluster of micrometeoroids have crippled the Ictomi, which is the ship, and killed 2 crew. J. Cross has been ejected into space, which is just horrible, and Pia Musgrave suffered a fatal injury, which I think we saw in the intro there, getting a meteoroid through her head. Your new goal is to survive. Okay, so quickly show you around this kind of bit. We can see that there are 2 things currently going on. Well, this is this is what started everything off. This bit blew up. This part of the ship blew up, and that's bad. We have 2 additional things to worry about, 2 things to solve. First is control fail in the command module up at the front. We need to get 13 on our dice in order to solve it. Orange dice means that you're going to take some health damage. If you hit a 4, for example, in this case, you'll take 1 health damage. 3 is stasis, so that you can't re-roll that number, that dice. You stick with, in this case, a 3. In this case, you've got 2 blues against both stasis. You're going to take 2 health from this. In the top left-hand corner, we can see the ship has 4 health out of a possible 8, and that the damage that's currently on the board will take 3 at the end of this turn. We can see each crew member in their portraits. They all look relatively depressed at the moment, to be honest, which is sad. On the left-hand side of the portrait, you can see a kind of bar here. This is their stress level. Stress is reasonable at the moment, but will only go up as time goes on and more things happen. On the right is the health, a maximum of 6. We currently got 4 for Jean, 3 for Joy, 4 for Alison, and 3 for Kayla, which is not a bad starting position. Those are all randomized every time. Usually don't get less than 2 though. The white squares, the number of dice that person can roll. Maximum of 5. Currently, Captain's got 3, Joy's got 2, etc. It can never be less than 1, so you never go down to 0. They always have something to do. And then after every single week, every turn basically, they go down 1 to a minimum of to a minimum of 1. As you can see, there's 10 weeks to go to Mars. That means there's 10 different turns basically, and they get harder as we go along. I've got ship info down here, which basically shows you all the different areas and the special things you can get in each of those areas. So in flight control, if you use a dice 5 or above, you can have no movement damage. In the greenhouse, you can, if everything equals each other, so you can have 1, 1, 1. Then you can start getting extra food. So quite interesting. Then you got your research. If you've got extra dice over at the end of a turn, you can put it into research. If you've got 1 dice in there, you can have this special ability, well, the special thing which adds on health to 1 crew member. 3 different dice, no movement damage. 4 over here, 17 repair for 1 module, and those change as you use them up. Number of food that you have up there. Currently we have 1. We'll use that in the next part of the turn, and then we got 1 assist. So basically, if I rolled a 4 in here, if I've got an assist, it will give me the 4, but it won't take the damage away. So, let's start. Both of these are bad. We want both of them to go away. We're going to need at least we're going to need the captain basically to take on this 13. 3 dice meaning maximum of 18. He's got 13, so we want a little over 4 as an average for that one, but we're going to wait to do that until after we try and get rid of this one, because this is worse damage. Because the specialist and technician, they don't actually have any effect, their special abilities don't have any effect over the other players. We'll go with them first. As you can see, when you select Joy, the ship kind of comes up as red. That means that for her to go to any other area of the ship, she'd have to take a health damage. So if I try to go in here, for example, you can see deploy -1 health. So she's not going anywhere. We'll go with her first. So I'm inside here. You can see that the ship damage is going to be 2 if we don't sort this. A meteorite struck and we're venting gas, you can see, coming out here. Should I wish and I roll a 5 or better, I can put that into this class bit here. That'll give us an extra 2 assists. But at this stage we really want to get this 23 down. For the module we're in, if we put in a 5 or more, we'll also get assists. So it'd actually be better to use this one than this one. Right now we're just going to roll the 2 dice that she has. We got 2 3s. One of which was assisted away, so we can roll this one again, and one is in stasis. Stasis, however you want to pronounce it, you silly Americans with your silly accents. We're going to use that one straight away, and we're reduced to 20 to clear this area. We're going to re-roll the 3 and hope that I get a better result this time. And we get a 1, which is wonderful, but we'll reduce anyway. And that's all she can do, so we'll finish the deployment. We'll bring Allison in with her 1 dice. She gets a 5, we'll use that, we're down to 14. And now we've got 14 and 13, but we still need to clear this area. So we'll bring in Kayla. Now her special ability, if you roll a 5 or 6, you put it into her class ability, and that will give everyone that's currently in that module +1 to their health, which would be quite handy. But we've got no option to use that this time. Oops. We just had to deploy, roll, and hope for 6s and 5s. Got 1 5 and 2 in stasis, which means we are not going to beat this. 1 final roll. Better to reduce this, get rid of the 2 ship damage. There we go. Give everyone an extra dice and re-roll to see if we can get the assists up. And I don't do enough, so we'll put it into research. I must feel like the music's too loud. Okay, finish deployment. And we got incoming the damage, the impending damage, and that's the 1 from the control fail.
Moods are turning sour. The crew's and my own. But if I can't lead them, we're all dead. I need to get it together.
From a tabletop perspective, this game really reminds me of Pandemic, you know, trying to use everyone's abilities to the best as possible, turn-based, dice-based. And I just happen to really like Pandemic as well. If you haven't played it, I would definitely suggest giving it a go. So in this part of the turn, you have to make choices. As you can see, you can choose to do extra things here, and they'll give you extra abilities, but often come with a negative effect as well. So this choice right here, +1 dice for all crew members, so +1 across the board, but -2 to the ship. And the ship is, as you can see, already on 3. We got 1 remaining there, which means we'd have to do really well in order to survive the next turn. Or we can +1 to food and get 1 minus health for both green and purple, who are both on 4s. Definitely going to go for that. That means everyone's on 3 health and we get an extra food. We've got 2 food now. These give you +3 dice, so we'll give 1 to Allison and 1 to Joy, and that's probably the best position we can be in right now. Okay, so new events. Ouch. Okay, so I got 1 assist. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to use it there, probably. We want to get rid of this and move on to getting rid of the other 2. It's only 1 impending damage though. It just happens to be right at the end. Six remaining. Oh, 6s. Excellent. Okay, and because we got this left over, we can use the module special ability, which is a 5+. Restore the active crew member's health to full. So up to full health now for Alison, which is fantastic. That's cleared this cleared that bay, which means we can move on to the 12 in here. Da, 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 da. I'm gonna go with Jean, the captain. So the purple ones mean they're that if you hit a 4, it goes into the void, which means the dice just disappears. You can't re-roll and you can't use it. And we got 1. Perfect. So there's 3 remaining on there. Got 2 players over in the doctor in. She's got the 3, we'll do that, and we can re-roll the other 2, or we can use them to get some more food, which is actually a better idea. So we just increased our food. Which leaves us with Joy, who needs 13. She has enough health, that will probably mean she won't die. Because that orange means I get a hit to my health. I've got 1 stasis, that's fine. So it's fully repaired now. We'll re-roll to see if we can get anything good. Snake Eyes. And we can't use that. So that's it over. We'll leave the module. That's the end of the turn.